All right. I'm going to record this in case it's useful to anyone. My last week of stage 2 was probably my worst week of all the stages, as you can see here. Profitable back here, and then even in stage 1, um, that's the same month as this month. Back here in stage 1, I did have 2 really bad days, and I guess there was this week, but I'd been doing really well, and this last week really just seemed to not go well. So I am going to take that week and go back and try and trade it kind of in hindsight. Thought it would be useful for myself just to go back and see the thinking that was going on. So I typically trade on the 1 minute and the 15-second. Let's get rid of anything that's on here. Make sure we are clean. So my chart, this is on the 1 minute. I typically trade MNQ. So I'm going to flip out to the daily here, and I can tell you that I was indeed long biased on this day. So previous day, this is the current day right here, August 10th. We had a C2 candle, didn't quite close back in, and didn't close back in on ES or MES either. But then we had a great C3 closure on both, so we closed above this level. And then I was expecting C4 continuation, so I was long biased for this day. So let's drop back out to the 1 minute and zoom back in here. So we're approaching the open. I typically don't trade till after the open. Just going to go ahead and click over here till about 9:28. So typically what I'm doing is I'm not usually trading the first 5 minutes of the open, but we can see here that we did not sweep this low. Otherwise, this would have been a C2 closure. It would have been really quite nice if that would have been a C2 closure. And on MES, we see, kind of vastly different. This we actually got a C2 closure, but then we swept that right here. So we're kind of just in a waiting mode. Remember, I'm long biased, so I'm going to just kind of click through here and watch for entries. If I drop to the 5 minutes and look at what's going on, or the 15-second and look at the 5 minute chart, we do have this nice long wick down, and just kind of watching that. The overnight session, you can tell we kind of just show the whole thing. Like this was clearly a level, so we could bounce off of this level. But when I'm looking at the 7 hour, what I was seeing was, well, we took this low. That could definitely be a key level to bounce off of. That's the Asia low. However, MES didn't take it, and it's pretty close. These other levels right here are also fairly close. So I'm still long biased coming into the open. I'm just going to go ahead and click through. We immediately get a push higher. Again, I'm not in any hurry. We had a good C2 closure over here and a nice start to a C3 candle. So, I mean, I might be watching this for a long, just to see what we get. This is the T-spot, so it's not an FVG, so sometimes it looks like it's an FVG. So we haven't really bounced back to an FVG yet. So I'm just going to keep kind of going. And then we kind of get this drop. So we did have a C2 here in this last candle right here. Swept these two. There are some lows below that. So just watching. And then, of course, over here, this one looks much stronger. If this would have maybe tapped into the FEG, this could have been a long for me since I'm long biased. Although I am concerned that MES will take that 18 low. And as you can see, we don't really have anything to go off of here. I mean, there is a swing low. Like, I suppose one could argue that right here you have a long but I really don't like how deep this went. And then I've also marked, it's way over here. I marked it before the video. This is the 50% line of the previous day's candle. This was the top of that. I'll just switch out to like the 5 minutes so you can see. So top of the candle, 50%. So if we get much below here and close, like we could come down, take this, and then shoot higher. That would be totally within my plan. But if we come much below this and keep moving down, it invalidates my long bias for the day. So back to the 1 minute just to check. We don't really have a lot going on. ES seems like it is considerably stronger here. This is just too much consolidation, though, with these wicks for me to want to take that long that I marked. So we'll just keep going through. I'm going to do this. And we get a push down. And so now I see this and I'm like, oh, okay. Are we heading to the lows? Is MES going to come take these lows? And, you know, they're trading on the super low time frames. There's definitely, like, if we came back up and bounced out of the FVG, you could take what I would consider maybe a riskier short, but we do have a nice C2 close here on that 5 minute candle. So if this comes up and touches that FVG like that and then closes below, you could take a short if you had 2R down to these lows. We do, as you notice, we are much higher than the 50%, so it would have to turn kind of right here and head straight down for me to even be interested. But we get this nice bounce out of this 15-second FVG. I know those are super powerful. So we do continue a little bit lower. I'm still not interested. If you wanted to take that short, right? I mean, you do have it over here. We did bounce up. We did close below. 2R would be here. It just isn't interesting. I mean, it's a little interesting given this huge wick, but given this push kind of back up here, like this would have to hold lower for me to be super excited about this trade. I think one of the issues I have is I'm like, oh, hey, look, we're going to go take those lows. But then if we don't, it's pretty painful. So I would not probably have taken this trade because I am long biased. If anything, I'm waiting for us to come down and take those lows before we move higher. The other correlating asset also does not have that CISD or the ICCISD in C3. So that makes this less interesting to take. I'll leave it here just to see if it hits. And you can kind of see on MNQ, like we didn't even close below in the C3. We finally closed below here, but there's just no way I could even get, like this would be a protected swing. I'm not sure why the indicator isn't market. Like I would have to think we're coming all the way down here. And again, I'm long biased, so that's not great. I suppose you could say, well, we swept this, so I'm just going to go here, but it's just, I'm long biased. So if we sweep these, great. I think the other thing to look out for is that when we go out to the 5 minute and kind of come back, there are no, like right here, there's an unmitigated FVG. We've touched that. We bounced off of it before the open. And then on NQ, we have this one and we have this one. So maybe we touch into that one, but will we get all the way down here, or will this huge kind of upswing hold? So back to the 15-second. Let's see what happens. And I know some of you are like, oh, this was just this week. You probably remember what happens. And I actually am terrible at that. So like, see this one, we just yank back higher. And same thing with this. I don't know that we got stopped yet or if we will, but it is pretty close. So again, I am watching for longs. That is my primary objective right here. So we did get, we're getting a nice potential C2 candle here. So let's see what happens. So there's like an early C2 entry. We can kind of see, you know, we did get a C4 continuation down, C2, C3, C4 on MES, but we are bouncing out of this FVG. It's looking like we're going to move higher. Let's just check the 1 minute chart. we do have an FVG, but it's already been mitigated. I could easily see us kind of coming back higher. So we just need to watch that. This candle is, forming a nice potential C2 with a wick down and maybe close above. Go back out to this. So if you were like super bullish and you're like, hey, I want to take a long here, this would be the early entry for 2R, and you do have plenty of room to that high. So sometimes I would take that. Right now, I kind of feel like we're, let's see what we're going to do. We came up, came down, came up. Are we going higher or are we not? I don't like if this would have closed here and then closed back above right away, would have been much more interesting. Same thing kind of here. We don't have a close over for a bullish C3 or a C2. So I'll just leave that on there in case you want to watch what's happening. So now we actually have this little kind of continuation here. It's valid, and we do have a nice move higher on MES as well. So I think the question is, we didn't hit into this FVG, and we might actually have a sweep of that, but it's not a swing low. So we're just going to wait and see what we get. We do get this continuation on, C2 is here. We retrace really deep. This doesn't give me lots of confidence. So there's into an FVG. If we close over, I might be interested in that. We don't close over there, so we do sweep this other low. So again, if we close over that, I would still be interested. And also watching MES for the same thing. And we did hit 945. So let's swing out here to the 1 minute just to double check. Make sure we're not going to miss an entry out here. This just looks like crap. We never got tagged out, but we didn't take that trade. That was just there for fun. So continuing through, we are waiting for a close over or some form of continuation. And we finally do get the close over. So I am long biased. We did get a sweep. We came into this FVG. I would probably take this trade, which would be from here. And there we go. And then I kind of like want to see like, what is this actually the high? Where is it going to aim? So it's pretty close to this high, which seems reasonable. If we take this high, we could take this high. And again, I'm long biased for the day. So back out to the 15. This is a trade I would probably take. We do have a close over on MES as well. We do have a C2. So this does look C2, C3 starts to expand. So I would take that trade. So we will 100% count that as a trade we're going to be in. We still haven't been stopped out of that other trade. So we do get stopped out. So that was why this risky trade, that's why I didn't take it. I probably actually took that in real time, but this is me trying to figure out like what would have made my week better. So let's see what we get here. So this is the C3. We're about to start the C4. We do have this long, annoying, took so long to close over, but we did close over. So at least we're heading in the right direction. And we enter the C4. Of course, we'd like to see open, low, high, close. So we do get the low part first. It's great that it's shooting up. So let's see what happens here. And we come back down. And that doesn't look very good for us. And so this up into the FVG and push down definitely does not look great. And we get stopped out. So that's fine. I think that was a valid trade entry. When I look at the 1 minute, I mean, here we're coming back down into an FVG and now we're bouncing up. We did sweep this low, which does make sense. So I am still bullish on the day. I don't see anything swaying me away from that. We do take a -1R here. So let's see what else we get. Don't want to click through too fast. So MES is really really turning up the heat here. We did get a nice sweep, so we do have a potential C2 here. We're not looking as good over here yet. I do like this if we now come back up and close over. So that part is fine. We do have this C2. We're entering into C3 right here. There is, did we tap into that FVG? Nope. So let's see if we get a continuation. Here's our C2. That MES just does not want to touch that FVG. So this is a closeover. I'm just never taking that. That's just not very good. We did run really deep back into this, so that part doesn't look good. This, I mean, you could totally take this down and up and close over. This did take a while. We do look like we are moving higher here, but we are kind of lagging over here. So let's see if we can find a decent long entry. So CISD and ICISD basically at the same level on MNQ. If that drops down to the FVG and closes over, that would be nice. So there's the touch in the FVG, and we close over. So we have a C2. I am still bullish. I don't really care for this deep run back into where we were, but if we mark from the bottom of this candle to the wick, and then see what we did. You know, we did wick down really far, but we did not obviously close down there. So I would be willing to take this trade. It also almost gives me 2R, probably 1.5R to that high. So I'd be watching for that as well. But I do like this close over in the C3 candle. We are right at the end of that candle though, so that sometimes presents problems, but hopefully we get the C4 expansion. And we did just make a new 15 minutes. So let's just hop out just to verify. So I do like this a lot. We did come down, touch into the 1 minute FVG. So we basically almost have the same trade right at the beginning of the C4 for the 15 minute. So I do like that a lot. So that bodes well. We've got some confluence there. Let's see what we get. Get a deep run back in. Does not look fun. Oop. And then we're getting a little higher, which is great. And we need to actually hit our TP maybe. So we're still within the C4 candle. We're hoping that C4 pushes up through that swing high level right here, which is the high of yesterday. And we get a little drawdown. And another close over and another retrace. Let's see what we're going to get here. Oh, and we actually take it. So that's fantastic. So we're now plus 1R on the day. Took 2 trades. For me, that would be, I take $250 risk. So that would be, plus $250 on a set of, 5 or 10 accounts. So I could easily just call my day there. And if you remember, my day was minus $1,360 on this day. So stopping at plus 250 would have been really, really nice. Let's keep going and see if we can find other trades and kind of watch what's going on. We do have these BSLs up here, and I'm just going to hop out to the 1 minute just to show that if you took the 1 minute trade right here, which I know is not a swing sweep, but it does touch into the FVG, you would have hit in 2R prior to the 5 minute one hitting it. Again, you are taking it right at the end of the C3, which is a little more risky to me. But we do hit here. My guess is we're going to come up here and take our old high, and we just got swept out barely. So that's fine. Here we've got a C3. We didn't get the C3 closure. So you couldn't have actually taken that trade on the 1 minute if you were playing by the exact rules, because we did not have a C2 closure. We had a C3 closure on MES, we did have a C2 closure here, and then we had a C2 closure here. So we're a little bit kind of off. The C2 was back here, and then we had another C2 here, which was just a C3 on MNQ. So we do have some correlation. We're forming multiple C2s, but we are sweeping below all these lows, which does make sense, and close over. My guess is that you could have easily taken this one as well. This sweep below all these lows looks really nice. I don't trade MES as much, but my guess is that probably hits, but I am not as concerned about it. So I'm going to just drop back since we have the C3, C4. We've already kind of taken this trade. I just want to see what happens in the rest of the day. And we're just going to I'm going to click through maybe a little faster here. So you notice we did not take the 18 low on MES. We did take it, and then we rejected off of it and those FEGs that we looked at on the 5-minute. So I'm going to just kind of click through here until we have another C2 form. Getting a lot of consolidation here. And we have potential for a C2 on both assets. So I think the question is now, if we look at this and we look at this, we are in divergence. So we've taken this C2 high. So are you looking at this and thinking, oh, I could short? Well, I think it depends on what happens right here. If this sweeps and then closes below more drastically, then this is a weaker asset, which I think is already apparent. Then you could take a short on this, assuming there's some form of target. So for me, we're already in the FEG, so this does definitely look like we are going to go higher, and we do have failure, swing, failure, swing, failure, swing, failure, swing right there, and ES is just running it. So I am not taking shorts unless something drastic happens here, and again, deep run. Let's see what MES does. So, I mean, this C2 closes down. MES does look like it is rolling over, but remember, we're sitting in this 5-minute FVG. Flip back out to the 1-minute time frame just to see what we get. So we do run down to this FVG. We do sweep these lows. Just going to go back to the 15-second. So I could see us going lower or higher here. So I'm just going to sit on my hands and click through. So we do open the C4, we come up into an FVG and we drop. We do have C2 on here, one candle later than NQ. So we are now kind of not divergent as much. But remember, we're sitting at that 5-minute FVG. And we have this FVG right here that has not been touched until now. And now we start getting the push back up. And if I drop out to the 1-minute, this FVG is currently holding. This is potentially a C2 candle. And we are pushing higher. Let's see what we get here. So we do have the CISD and a continuation entry in the C2 on MNQ. And the end of the candle is right there. I don't love this consolidation area here. Same thing here. This does look indeed like it's going to push higher. We're at 10:30, so let's just see what the 15 minutes looks like. So we don't really have, we have a C2 closure to the downside, but this candle does not look bearish to me. It looks much more bullish, opened here and went up and came down and closed back up here. So we also have MES making higher highs. So back out to the 15-second. And so again, I'm bullish. I do like this. I do like this. We're both not divergent. This has something here in the C3. I probably went a little bit fast, but this seems like Ah, man. We do get a sweep. Oh, we do not get a sweep. The low 851.75. Oh, we do get a sweep. So we do sweep this by one tick, which may or may not be enough. This is definitely a potential trade. I don't love this area right here in the C2. I do love this V-shaped reversal. We do get the same V-shaped reversal. It does look very much like MES wants to take this high. So I don't know if I would take this or not. Well, what does the 5 minute look like overall? Oh yeah, I would definitely probably take that trade. I did go one candle too far, but I would take this trade. I am again still bullish. So we will see what we get. I'm also very leery of when this buy side liquidity gets taken. I may just close it out if that happens, if NQ has not participated in taking. Oh, so we get stopped out there. That's fine. That sweep is probably going to be the sweep that then pushes us higher, though. All right, let's keep going. Yep, so there's that down sweep and up sweep. We took the lows. Perhaps I was just early. And this one kind of sucks because I have to go so far. But this definitely looks like C2, C3, C4, and we're just starting C4. We did immediately come up in C4, but we have expanded away. So that is nice. Just to drop out to the 1 minute so that we can see what's happening. This FVG held. We came back. We're bouncing up. Let's see what the 5 minute looks like. Same thing. It looks like we're coming higher out of this FVG. I think the main issue is just the distance of this. Like this has to go take so much. It does look compelling. I think, I would have liked to see a little bit higher or a little bit faster V shape, but this is pretty good. So I would probably also take this trade being bullish. And so far we are dead even on our trades. Again, I'm a little concerned when MES takes that. So let's see what happens. Yeah, so I definitely do not like that. We're going to get stopped out. So that would be minus 1R on the day to this point. And I think this is really what made this day hard is like we're not doing a lot. This didn't come up. We didn't close over here. MES bounces out of this. We do make a higher high. We even take this high right here, or even with it, but we don't take this BSL. So if we look at this, we have a C2, C3. So, I mean, there would be a trade on the 1 minute if we closed over here. Let's just click through and see what happens. Oh, that's the 5 minute. Sorry. Wrong time frame. So yeah, I don't like any of this. And here goes our MES taking that high. Yep. So we take that high. That's kind of great. So if we look back and we go, okay, which one was the stronger asset? Here's your C2. And then you really don't get a continuation until here. And this, I think, is the same trade. Like this is that down right here that we took. So had I been better at what I was doing and paying attention, what is the stronger asset? It probably makes way better sense to trade MES, but I don't also have 2R to this high where I did on MNQ. So this would have been, this is for me to learn. That would have been a better trade for me to take. And I probably would have taken some off there, but we will see if that actually hits because that's the same trade that we wanted to take right here, but did not work out. So, and this is the 1 minute trade. Let's see if there was the 15-second version. Yeah, so here's the C2. So this C3 would have gotten stopped out and then you would have been good. So if you took it here it gets stopped out. The 1 minute definitely looks very good. This low here sweeps. It was a C2 and then a C4 that became a C2, and we're pushing higher. So let's find out what happens. And we get stopped. Yep. So it would not have mattered which one I took it on, and this was definitely part of the problem with today. So this definitely looks like we are rolling over and heading down. Let's see what the 5 minute, 15-second looks like. Our 5 minute, we do get this C2 candle right here, and this was part of my problem with the day. You could have taken this. You could have taken this. This is a winner as well, 2R. This one obviously is 2R. So you could come up here and take the C4. But we were over here watching the MES long. And really it's hard because why would you change your bias here? Well, the only real reason is this candle poking into this FEG. This, we have a failure swing on this candle. However, MES actually takes the high. So in this particular case, right, we've got a divergence and we have an SMT at the highs. So it would be possible to treat this as a really true C2 because MES took it. Which if you treat this candle right here as a true C2, you could take this C3, you could take this C4. Obviously I missed it, which is unfortunate, but we do have C2, C3 closure, so just the C3 closure. So we're going to watch for that to close below. We're going to watch for this to pop up into there and close below. We're on the 15-second still, and there's a closure below on both of them. That one didn't hit the FEG. This one did. So let's see what happens. I'm going to pop out to the 5 minute. So the only concern is that there's this here, but below that, I mean, we don't have much. So probably a slightly riskier trade. We are closing below here. If this would have hit the FEG, that would have made me feel a lot better. But I mean, I would probably take this trade. So we will call that live. We'll see if we just get immediately stopped out. Oh. So I've been having these all week this week where they get very close and then they just revert and stop me out. So let's hope that's not what's happening. But we did make an FEG. We do have a potential C2 here and a potential C2 for longs here. So yep, that is looking fun. So C2, again, this low just is begging to be taken, especially on MES, wanting to take the 18 low. I'm not sure why it's not showing up over here anymore, but yeah, so this looks like we're going to go higher again. But which way? So we're definitely heading down. This looks much more convincing. This C2, this C3, if I wasn't already in this trade, I definitely would have taken this to the lows. This looks stellar. We have the C2, we close lower, we wick up here into the FEG. This is like ideal for me. I should just stop watching MES and just pay attention to NQ. But yeah, I would have taken that trade as well, whether it gets stopped or not. Yeah, so that would have just been a disappointing loss, and this one actually lost. So I didn't take that one, but I did take that one. We'd be minus 2R on the day. And really, we're coming into the time where I would stop trading. But again, this was my mistake of the week, right? Like I took a long here, I barely got stopped out. I got back in and I win. I'm plus 1R, shut it down. Especially after like this and then this. It's just like, you know, at the very least, you know, you take this trade, you're back to break even, and you take this trade, you're minus 1R, and you see this kind of crap that is being dealt on this Monday. And it's just like, look at all these wicks on the 5 minute. It's just gross. And the 15 minute, like, what are we doing? Up, down, up, down. Like, are we coming up into this FEG? Like, that's the only hope, I feel like. So, but I'm going to continue just trying to hone my skills and going to keep going here. So we did have a C2, we do have a C3, and MES is pumping a little bit higher here, but we've just taken this high. We've just taken this high here. We're coming in the lunch hour too. 5 minute looks like trying to push up into this FVG. Like this looks like down to me. This looks like the better potential for down on that. So we will watch for that. And if we blow through, then we will take longs. So we do have a C2 finally right here. Again, you can see this just consolidating. So it probably is going to sweep this, but who knows? We do have this low. We do have these lows. So that's a C3 closure. It didn't quite touch the FEG. I wouldn't take that. We're in C4. Also didn't take the FEG. And you can kind of just see like consolidation. We took this low. You would be like, okay, we're going to go back to the highs of the consolidation. That would be my thought. We do have a C2 there. We never get a close over. We run it out. So down to the lows, I'm guessing we're going. Let's see what the 1 minute looks like. Just very slow movement. Came up to here, ran that, working our way down. Came up to here, working the way down. Don't really have any great trades. 5 minutes. I mean, we didn't even push into this FEG there. MES was probably the best one. It pushes up into it for the first time and then doesn't have a C2 closure, doesn't have a C3 closure. So it's really hard to trade that. So we'll just keep clicking through. So we do get a bullish C2. And then right away in the C3, we pop up. So, I mean, you could take that if you had reason to go higher. I'm not sure what that reason is. Didn't take this low. Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to just be like, oh, let's reverse our bias here after up, down. Seems like we should take that low. So definitely not taking that. Of course, it obviously would have won with 2R. And now we're going to push back. So this is why this day sucks. So there's the C4. And then right back down. We just never get the close over in the C4 candle. So this was a good C2. No way of knowing that. If you traded that, I think it's just luck. I mean, I was bullish biased, so I suppose I could just always wait for the bullish candles here. And we never did take this 18 low. And we're coming back into noon. So if you remember our very first trade of the day, this was it. Hoping we were going to get up to about 29,890. And now we are rapidly moving towards that. So on the 15 minute, should have been paying attention over here. We did get I was clicking too fast. We do get this really nice C2. We are coming out of this. This definitely looks super strong. If I would have been paying attention on this time frame, I'm sure I would have taken this trade. Although, and this lines up really well. Are we going to come up and take these highs? Maybe, maybe not. So let's just click through. We are in the lunch hour, so it's all garbage during the lunch hour for me usually. Yeah, and then I'm not even sure what happened there, but as you can see, we finally get what I originally expected for the day, which was come down, take the 18, and then move higher. So good thing I missed this trade. I'm not even sure why there's a gap here. I think it's just a trading view data error, but it might not be. So yeah, I'll leave that there as if I would have taken it, because I probably would have if I was watching that time frame. But now we've taken this low. I'm either watching for MNQ to come and take this low, or form a nice C2 and trade higher, because we've taken that Asia low. That is the chance in this V shape. And if we get like a nice push higher here, that would be fantastic. So let's see what we get. We do not get a push higher. And no C2s. Oh, MES has a C2, but I'm going to stick to watching NQ. So, I mean, this is a really deep run back into this. I would have almost expected NQ to take this. So we get a C2. I'm going to jump out to the 5-minute and actually see what it looks like. Yeah, so again, that does not touch into it. This does not hit this FEG here. Let's jump to the 15-minute and see what's happening. So we are in the 15-minute. So I would look at that 5-minute as, hey, if we do get a C2 and we want to push down here on NQ to that low, that would make sense to me. So that is how I would flip my bias in here. So this is a potential trade if we do have a continuation. And we blow right through the C2, so no continuation down. This is very much starting to look like let's head back up after taking that Asia low. So ES has been stronger most of the day, although NQ is now stronger. So we will watch for any good C2s. Let's check the 1-minute really quick so we don't miss this again. We don't get a C2 or a C3. So back over here. And we do not get any form of C2 or C3. So there's a C2 down. I'm really not interested in that at this point. We've bounced off of taking that 18 low, the Asia low on MES, and we already took it here, and we are back above that level. You can see it's right here. So we came above the level. It's kind of like a break and retest of this level again. So I am back to my original long bias. If we do get something interesting, I would consider taking it. Definitely need something more than this consolidation. So we're in the C4 and we break the C2. So let's see what we get with this candle. It looks like we got a potential C2 if we get a C3 closure. So we did get a C2 on ES. We did not get a C3 closure, so we're just going to run through this. And I flip back out to the 5 minutes. So, I mean, this 5-minute, right there, we get that nice C2. That was at 115. So what were we not looking at 115? So this is that C2. This is that really long close below. So, I mean, if you took this trade, you probably are very close to 2R. There's 2R. So we are very close. My guess is that that probably ends up hitting, but I don't know. Yep. So this is why watching that 5 minutes, like when you see both ES and NQ coming into this, like we definitely seem like made a high, but didn't take any of the higher highs, couldn't take the high, come back up, FEG on the downside, get a nice C2, down we go. So again, I mean, we could bounce up into this one, but yeah, I should have been flipping back and forth to that 5 minute. Trying to go a little fast for the video, I think. I was doing it much slower in other times when I've done this. So at this point, did we poke back up into? Nope. At this point, it looks like we are heading down. We are getting towards the afternoon open, which is 2:30 for me. So we have a C2 here, just barely. We have a C2 over here. And then we have a nice strong push up. And let's see where that pushed up into. So we're in that FEG here. We're not in anything over here. So, I mean, we could move higher, in my opinion, to here. I'll just mark this as a buy side. But so like sometimes if I got a 2R trade to that, so as an example, let's see if we can get 2R. Cannot quite get 2R. Pretty close. Does this make any sense? This is an unmitigated FEG. It's 15-second though, so how meaningful really is it? But I mean, this C2 here, and then that's a C4. I mean, it's a sketchy trade. I think it's not stupendous, but again, I was bullish. Let's see what the 15-minute looks like. So see, we've already hit up into that, and we would have to hit up into this. So, I mean, it is possible that we come up here and then come back down. I would probably end up maybe taking that trade. It's a really shallow stop. We'll leave it on. And we'll get stopped right away. Yeah. I mean, that is just hard. You know, already in this FEG here. And so now we're pushing back down. And as I just stated, so I'm not sure why I ever would have left that on. We're definitely bearish right now until we make a higher high. So we should only be looking for bearish trades. This is me learning as I go, listening to myself talk. Potential C2. So we get a C2. So if we had a continuation that gave us to the lows, that's a little sketch to me. I'm not taking that. If we close below now, yeah, so we just destroyed the C2. So I'm probably going to get unlucky and just get stopped out, and then it's going to just plow higher. Or I'll get unlucky and there's another C2. And so here we have that up closure. Oh man, that's going to be right there. So we are bearish. Check the 5 minutes. I do like C2, C3 expands down. That seems like 100% legit trade to me. I don't love that it's a 5-point stop. I also don't love that we're almost at 230, but this definitely seems like, you know, we did come up into this FEG, although we have these two unmitigated ones up here. This looks good. Did we actually close below? Yes. We didn't close below over here. Sketchy. I would say I'd probably take it just because I like the down, up, down. I wish we would have closed a little lower, but let's see what we get. Is it at 2R? Yeah. So that's probably not a good sign. We took these lows and then we are coming higher. See if we can get a push back down. We cannot. So yeah, I mean, like I said, this is a hard day. Quit when you're ahead when you're at 1R after 2 trades. So this is just me trying to hone my skills and kind of see what am I missing. And you can see what I'm missing is this is trash PA. So here we go. I do still like bearish at this point, given the price action. And we do come up, we do sweep this. It just doesn't seem like it's effective enough. Like if we would have come up here, that would have been awesome. Or potentially a C4. Yeah, I mean, this also looks good. I just don't like the timing of it. And right to the lows. And we're almost at 230. C2, C3. And we didn't. We respected that. We moved down out of the FEG. Yeah, I mean, can't really argue with that, but we get stopped. And this is the problem. This is the problem with taking too many trades. It's a problem with trading in the afternoon after the volatility is gone. These candles are tiny, right? Like, look how small they are. So this is why we don't want to trade here. Let's drop out to the 1 minute and see what is going on. Came up, FEG down, made a new low, made a new low. Just is really hard to find anything in here. C2, C3. This is part of it. Is sometimes I'm like, I should be watching out here on this. And like we swept this, but like, do I believe we're going down? Like now, all of a sudden, like we've swept some of these lows. If this would have pushed up into here, it would have been great. But I mean, it just doesn't seem like we're going down. So yeah, I would not have taken that. And I just said that out loud. This is that same BSL that's back up here. That 5 minute FEG that is probably getting hit since we couldn't push lower. This did sweep everything. That also swept everything. So I would very scalpish be looking for a C2 and something to this BSL. And see if we go one more candle. See if it was a C2. So that was a C2. I'm not messing with that. We need to have something else happen. We did have an FEG right there, but we did not get a continuation. So, and here's the continuation, which is just crazy. Super deep back into this C2. We'll see what we do and see what C4 gives us. So we do close over. If we were not as close to this BSL, I would consider taking that, although I'm just not taking any of these smaller trades anymore. I'll just mark it on here to see what it does. Yeah, and we get stopped. So, yeah, this is really about it. I'm going to just go till 3 o'clock here. And we do take that BSL, but you can see the just crappy price action that we hit from it. So 3 o'clock tends to be the other time when I will trade in the afternoon. You get more volatility that enters at 3 o'clock in general. So just a quick look at what we're doing on the 5 minutes. We were pushing higher, so this level up here is definitely a level that we could take. You can see ES has already taken that level, so NQ is lagging. Let's look at the 15 minute. Same thing. So I would probably, if I was watching for a trade, I would probably be watching for a trade that was along up to this level. But I don't have a C2. I have a downward C2. And now an upward C2. So, I mean, if we got something decent in C3 here that I could get to R, I mean, this is the off the thing. I do like the C3 opened down and then closed right back above. I don't really care for the fact that that took a while, but then this is pretty decent, but I don't have an FEG and I don't really have a sweep. So it's just me going off the original OB, which is a possible trade. I just don't tend to take it. So that isn't an FEG. If we close over, I would consider going long if it looked decent. So we close over. We have a pretty decent V shape. It took longer than I would have liked. 2R to the top. I would take that. And then we get a C4 continuation as well, although I don't really love that one. And we're probably going to get stopped because that's the kind of day it was. And now, after the stop, it will probably run to the high. I'll just hit play because I'm done for the day. Yeah, look at that consolidation nightmare. Just gross. Like, how do you pick the right direction here? And then, of course, we finally go back and take that low, which is just nuts. So, yeah, so that day sucked. That's day one. I'll probably do one more day here just to practice. So, again, the best advice I could give myself is take that second trade and get out of the day. Let's just let this run until 9 tomorrow. And 9. Ooh, 9:15. Perfect. Go to 1 minute. So out to the daily. This is where I would start. I would definitely be bullish on this day. It looks like we've already come down and touched this FEG and we're pushing higher. So I would be bullish again. You can see yesterday's bullishness did not work out, but this makes sense to come higher. And to the 1 minute. We do have currently an Asia reversal on both. We did get a very deep run into on ES. So let's just click forward to, 9:30's here. Whoops. I didn't think I was that close. So again, I'm bullish. We open and we're heading down. Let's see what we got on the 15-minute. So we blew through this FEG. MES is holding stronger. We're nowhere near kind of these lows, whereas NQ is. So I'd be watching for NQ to take a low and reject and move higher. So there's the low. And let's drop to the 15-second and see what the 5-minute is doing. So it looks like we're getting a good C3 here. We just have to wait for the closure. This would be the first potential thing that we could look at on today. So we do not get a C3 closure. We actually get another C2 closure to the downside. And same thing over here. So nothing to do. This low looks compelling to get taken. So this would be one of those things where, oh, I want to take a very short scalp. You can see we touched this FEG, came down. We're in this FEG. We're in a bullish FEG on the 1 minute. There are times where I will take this scalp depending on what the price action looks like. I don't like that as a protected swing at all. It would have had to have come up, and if it would have touched that FEG, I would have taken it. And so we take that low. So again, I'm still bullish. I'm still awaiting. We've taken that low. MES may take another low. And we took the low. We're moving higher. We just don't have any form of C2 to actually operate off of. Let's see if we had it. Hopefully we didn't have it on the 1 minute. That'll suck. We missed it. Oh, we didn't miss it. So we do have a C2 on the 1 minute. We have a C2 here. ES looks very good for a long right there. It's much stronger, but we are in this FEG. Let's see what we get for the NQ side. Don't want to click too fast. So there's our C4. You could take a positional entry right here. I don't ever do that, but for fun, I'm going to mark it out. I don't know why it does that. It just never lets me go to 2.0. I have to zoom in. So we do get a very quick this. We would have got stopped out on the positional entry. I don't like this particular one because we didn't come into this FEG or this FEG. So in the C4, I would love to wait. I'm just going to pop out to the 5 minute. 5 minute does look like we're coming out of that FEG. 15 minute. We are in the middle of a bearish FEG. We're between FEGs. It's very difficult to actually push through here and find a trade. But I'm bullish, still bullish. A lot of garbage here, consolidation. And C4 is over. This is a potential C2 candle, but not anymore. ES actually did make the C2. Oh, we did get a C2 candle at the very end. This was going to be my C2 low. So that's still potential for a long. So I would take that long. Went one candle too far. I said it before it showed up. Yeah, 24. That looks decent. Let's see what we get. This would have been my first trade. It's already 11. Ugh, not great, but we'll see if we can make the 1 minute work for us. Nope, not today. So you can see this looks very bearish. We're divergent from each other, so I don't like that at all. And if we would have been watching, here's the C3. We get a C3 closure, and you could have taken, I'm just going to move this so it stops mousing over. This bounces up into this FEG. You could have taken this closure and easily gotten 2R. You probably could have taken this C4 closure and easily gotten 2R. This is why I tend to trade on the 15-second and not the 1 minute. I should have just picked one time frame for this video. Yeah, look at that expansion down now. You know, and so now I look at this and I go, well, what direction does it look like we're going? And it definitely looks like we're bearish. You know, slamming down out of this, even on the 1 minute. So let's just stick on the 1 minute and see if we get anything that's a decent C4 continuation, maybe. So this is an interesting one. This FEG having closed below here. This FEG did close below right here. This seems more risky. I would probably want to wait. And I don't love how long it took, but since I was pointing it out, let's see what we would have. Yeah, I mean, it's a long way. MES already took this. I'll leave it on there. Just get to wait a long time to find out what happens. Did we get it? I think we missed it by a tick. Okay. So there's a win for us. So we'd be, again, we took this trade, took a loss. I think that's the only trade we took, right? Yeah. So again, we're at 1R. We should just shut it down for the day, be happy. We'd be 2R for the week right now. And instead, I was basically still minus $1,352 at that point. So I think that's the ultimate lesson. But I also think, let's see where we're at. In the scheme of things, we're still very bearish. Like if I was leaving runners, I probably would have left a runner to here and maybe runners to here. But again, remember, we started the day bullish. So if we look at the 7-hour, we definitely are a London reversal right now, but we've now taken the 18 low on both. Like we just took that low right there. So we could very well see a reversal here. And that's what I would probably switch to the 15-second and watch for. Like this could be a great C2 candle, but it's not. So let's see if we get a C3. And we do. So we get a C3. At this point, I look and I say, okay, are there any potential scalps that I could take back up here? Like if there's an FVG, really it appears like this high would be it. So I will play along with that. C3 right there, but we didn't really know it was a C3 till it closed. So let's see if we get any continuation. And at that point, I am probably completely not doing anything bullish. It's messing up my candles. So up, down, here's a C3 closure again. So if you really wanted to trade lower, note that MES just took that low. If you wanted to trade lower, this would be an opportunity to do it. So up, down, sweeps out all of those highs. I mean, if you believed we were going lower, which if MES hadn't swept that low, I would say absolutely go for it. 5 minute looks like. I mean, we need to get down to about here. I mean, it still seems totally reasonable. This definitely seems like we're just creeping down. It just seems like a lot of these ups, you have a lot of chance to get stopped out very simply. I do like this on the 1 minute though. So I would take that. It's basically the same trade on either one. So I would take that trade if I was watching. See what we get. Oof. Missed it by a hair, and then we got it. So I do like that. If I would have taken that, now we'd be plus 3R and definitely be done for the day. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about my bias and so forth. So I hope that is somewhat helpful. I guess we're almost at the end of the day. We will just see if we can find another trade now that we took that low. Definitely seems very bearish. Let it just run out here. So we do get a C2 higher, flipping out to the 5 minute. You know, part of it is that we did not take this low from 2 days ago. So where are we going? Are we coming to here? What does 15 minute look like? I mean, we don't have anything until up here for the 15 minute. Do I trust that we've suddenly switched bullish? No, not yet. So let's see what we get just to see if we can find a... See, we already have the C2. That's pushing up. Like this would have been really rough, right? Like if you got in here, this candle just sucks for entry. Like I want to see this candle be here. So like, and if it comes back down to here, am I super stoked about the entry? Like I'm already almost gotten 2R out of it. So it's very difficult. If this candle would have just closed over, maybe we have 2R to this high and I probably take it. But yeah, I mean, now we're back down here. Are we super pumped to take this higher? I am not. And this is just not a great low for me. This, if it's in the C4 and closes over in an aggressive V shape, maybe. And I don't like that. I'd need it to close over here. That sweep actually more compelling, but it leaves that. I mean, just that's the FVG one right there. But we are 15 seconds from the end of the candle. So you could take this trade as a kind of wing and a prayer. I mean, it's 4 or 5 point stop on MNQ. Like that's just ridiculous. So I would not be taking that. And there's why. But, you know, there we go. We did not take this protected low. If this would have hit into this FVG, it would have been much more compelling for me. and we do not have a C2 there. Let's flip out to the 1 minute just to see if we would have gotten anything. 1 minute looks like we do have a C2. Probably should have been paying attention just to see what do we have here to 2R. So, I mean, that lines up with where I think price is going, at least in the short term. So had I been here one candle sooner, I definitely would have taken this out of this consolidation. And there was an FVG right there that it went through. So that actually, this V shape I love, and it's kind of up, down, up, and then let's go. So I would have taken that trade. And there's probably, if we look in here, C4, we don't actually touch into the FVG quite yet. Yeah, I don't like that close over. I'm probably getting stopped. Yep. So no good there. Let's just kick out to 3 o'clock hour and see what we have. Yeah, back down. So again, when you look at the overall day, once my bullish bias is kind of ruined, like this ruins my bullish bias, and then this just slow creep down, and then we almost take this low. Should have just kept the bearish bias there, because my guess is that if I would have, there's probably a C2 again. Nope. No C2 there. There was a C2 on ES, and it was right here. So by transfer, you could have made this a C2, but then this is just garbage. Nothing really pushes up. Although that last candle does sweep it. So, I mean, if you wanted to be really crazy and a 6-point stop, you could have gotten like 10R or something. Yeah, 8, 9R if you really went to the low. But you would add 2R to here pretty easily. And so now we're just going to go to 3 o'clock just to see if there's anything at the end of the day. So after taking this low, we do get a nice V shape, right? So at that point, you're kind of like, okay, what are we going to do? This little W shape right here is somewhat indicative of a reversal. We get it on both. We have an FVG here that we're pushing into. So I could definitely see the 3 o'clock hour pushing us higher and back to that level that I originally wanted. So I'll be watching for that. This is 1 minute. There's the 3 o'clock hour. All right, let's see what we get. We need a C2 for bullishness. So there's a potential. There's a C2 for bullishness. We do sweep down. Let's see if we can get a continuation. So that's a sweep and the FVG if we close over, but we do not. There's another sweep and the bottom FVG, and the C2 is nullified. So there's another C2, and we're into the C3. We get the C2 on both assets. Into that FVG and over would be nice. So, I mean, that's technically a sweep of this swing low, but it's just not. I just typically don't take those. I don't like it. If this would have hit the FVG, I would have taken it in a heartbeat. Okay, so potential. We're probably right at the end of the C4. Yep. I'd like to see that sweep lower and then close over. This is a rough close over, but I mean, for the end of the day and the movement back to where I think it's going, which is still way up here. Let's look at the 5 minute just so we have context. Like we came out of here, bounced up. I mean, we could easily get stopped if we take this. There is a minus FVG right there. This also looks strong. This is hard. Like I would have preferred it would be up here. So how many is that? 7 point. Yeah, like I just probably am not taking that. It's not strong enough for me. So if it closes up higher, see what we get. Yeah, this is just kind of trash. Yeah, like I don't want to sit through this. That's awful. It's not what I was looking for. It's going to hit anyway, probably. Yeah. So, I mean, we are heading towards what I think we should be heading towards. It probably, we also, I should have marked this one too. Either one of those, right? I think is fine. I wanted to see it close over this, but that doesn't happen until way out here. And it's very hard to say that looks like a good trade. Like from the standpoint of I have 2R to my draw, it's fine. But this, in order to close over, when we close over this one, we have another protected swing, although I don't think that's not ever like I'm just taking this low. I'm never taking that one. And then we sweep that one and then we close over, like maybe, but like just for fun, it's gonna go up and obviously hit the target, and then we hit this level, and then we are screaming back towards the level which I thought we were going to hit. Not sure if we get there or not. And we are at the end of day. So we don't quite get to this level. But that's my thinking across a couple of days and how I am operating. Those are probably the worst days. And then there you go. We do actually take it not very much later. So that's the kind of thinking I'm using for the short term. I'm never trading after 4 o'clock. Like there's obviously a C2 here, and then you can see a whole bunch of C3 and C4 continuations. I'm just never taking those. So I guess with that, I will end this video because it looks like we are already over an hour. If this is interesting to anybody, let me know. I'd be happy to make a couple more, preferably in better weeks and better days. So bye for now.